about it.
Peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings. We got a powerful show today. My name is Everett, and this is the Real Truth and Power podcast, where we provide health, wealth, and knowledge of self to the black community. Before we start, you know how we do. Let's start the program off right.
You are now tuned in to Real Truth and Power, the show that uplifts the community with health, wealth, and knowledge of self. Here's your host, Everett Winchester.
All right, peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings. We have a powerful show today. A powerful show today. We're interviewing a martial artist in the UFC by the name of Brother Jamal Johnson. He's going to give you some powerful information on MMA. You guys know I'm definitely a sports fan. I'm always in the sports. I also want you guys to stay tuned. Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, we have a powerful interview with Brother James Wilson. He's an author. He does children's books, so that's going to be great. So before I bring Brother Jamal in, let me pay the bills real quick, and then I'll bring my brother right in. This is our sponsor for the month. All right. The name of that company is Black Owned, BLK Owned. Check the name out. Don't get confused with it. They got some nice products, man. But let me bring in our guest for this evening, and thank you guys for tuning in. Brother Jamal, what's up with you?
How you feeling, everybody?
I'm feeling good, my brother. I'm feeling good, man. So, first of all, tell the people, back up a little bit. I'm going to make sure I get your face in there. There we go. Talk to the little people, give the people a little brief background about yourself.
A little brief background. Well, I'm a Baltimore, Maryland native, first and foremost. Black man, years and years of, just trying to make it. But also a graduate from University of Baltimore back in 2015.
Okay.
I'm 30 years old at the moment. And I've been competing in mixed martial arts for about, I'd say 10 to 12 years at most.
Okay.
And just martial arts in general has pretty much been half of my life. I've been doing it since I was 13 and I'm 30 now.
Wow. I want to go into that. What got you into martial arts? I took karate. My father got me in it as a young man, but it was more about protecting and defending yourself, or trying to put, but what got you into it? Was it just, because a lot of young black people don't get into martial arts, believe it or not. It's usually basketball, football, some kind of sport. Talk about that a little bit. How you got drawn to martial arts?
Yeah. Like when you talk about athletic careers of most black males or black people in general, right? Most are right. The picks would probably be the first ones that you mentioned earlier, basketball, football, stuff like that. But with martial arts, I kind of fell into it the same reason that you brought up earlier, right? Protection, just a sense of, I don't know, just to have a sense of self awareness as well.
Hmm.
Martial arts has really brought in, right, it's really brought in my senses, and not just my ability to hear, my ability to see, but also just my ability to imagine. You know what I mean? To really configure strategy, as well as to keep myself nice and poised within difficult situations, which I find myself not just in work, but just in life in general. You know,
I'm
but
glad. I'm sorry to cut you
oh
off. I'm glad you said that because a lot of people don't know the spirituality and the discipline that comes
yeah,
with a form of martial arts. Go into that a little bit because you started talking about your senses, but just talk
yeah.
about the well, I don't want to say spiritual, but the mental aspect, the discipline that it takes, and how it can help a young child out, a youth.
Right, exactly. It's just full concentration, and just within the environment, right? Coming into the environment first and foremost off the jump. Not a lot of people are used to fighting already as it is, or martial arts, or those type of movements. But the more you get into it, you just fall into place, kind of. Everything will develop in its own right, whether it's your physicality, your mentality. It all just falls into place. And with each exercise, there is there's a purpose. You know what I mean? Just like me, yeah, it's just with each exercise that you do, there has to be a purpose. Whatever coaches you have, right, they have to have a curriculum for you mapped out, so that as the years go by, your development within this sport, well, within this art, just grows, and you'll be able to take it for yourself. Not just for it to be a plaque on your wall or something like that to say, yeah, you did karate or something like that for like 3 to 4 months. You completed a system. No, this is something that you should be able to take for yourself, be able to defend yourself, your family, and as well as to carry on and develop a strong mind as well as about a strong body.
Wow. So, I'm a parent. Now, I'm just hypothetically. I'm a female. I'm a mom. I'm a single parent or something like that. And my son, he's pretty much not good in maybe basketball, football, or something. What would you do to encourage that mom to like go into martial arts? And what would be some of the points you would tell them to say, hey, this could be good for your child. You could not only keep him out of trouble, but name a couple more benefits that you would tell somebody like that. But the reason I say that is because a lot of parents are afraid. They're thinking violence sometimes and not the other things that the martial arts has to offer.
Yeah. Well, just from my experience alone, and just thinking about how I used to be when I was younger, I can pretty much say from like middle school on up to high school, I was a pretty frustrated kid. Well, no, I wouldn't say till high school. I was pretty chill because I was still doing martial arts then. But from my experience, martial arts has stopped me, or at least it has kept me busy enough for me doing things that you know
Right.
would be the latter, or could cause me the latter, if you remember. So, yeah, I understand people's, I would say, reservations towards martial arts, being as is violence, right? What you're supposed to do is, right, you're supposed to get in there, you're supposed to work with your hands, your feet, whatever part of your body else that you're practicing with. But martial arts really has an ability not just to develop your physical ability, but as well to quelm and to develop your mental ability as well. Your ability to, I would say, your ability for patience and tolerance, which a lot of us, I feel, don't have.
Yes.
And once we learn that, like, man, it's almost the sky's the limit when you have the ability to block out so many things just based off of your ability to wade through all the stuff. Like, it's, man, it's martial arts has really helped me, I would say, for the better.
Yeah. I talk about your training regimen, or at least for someone that would just be beginning. Because when I first started, I was thinking like I'm gonna get the gloves, and somebody's gonna show me how to jab, cross, punch, snap, kick, cross, or something. And the first workout was so hard, and I didn't do any of that. It was stretching. I mean, I was so hurting from stretching. I'm like, oh my goodness, what is this? I didn't really want to come back. It was so hard, just the exercises alone. And then they get you up there just doing the movements, like you say, throwing punches. I was like, oh, it was so hard. But just talk
Yeah.
about that, the stretching, the daily regimens. And then also, I don't know, after each class we would meditate. Talk a little bit about how that helps you as well.
Yeah, definitely. When it comes to stretching is definitely a big part of martial arts because right, it allows your body to be limber and to perform all the moves in which you need to. So stretching is a must before and after workouts, and that's not just for martial arts. That's for anything really. But as well as besides stretching being a part of the curriculum, as well as basic calisthenics, push-ups, sit-ups, squats, pretty much anything that develops a muscle in your body that will benefit you in almost any situation. Like martial arts definitely jumps on that. But yeah, I would say my when I first started, I was at least doing 5 days out of the week, 2 hours. Well, 4 or 5 days out of the week, 2 hours worth of training.
Oh wow!
Um,
When you were
yeah.
like young, you was doing 5 days.
Oh yeah. When I
That's
was 4 or 5,
good.
I
That's
was
good.
at least
Yeah.
doing yeah. When I was about 13 and whatnot, yeah. Well, when I was 13, yeah, when I just started, I was at least doing maybe 3 days at best. But
Right.
as I got older, a couple of years on me, yeah, I started boosting up to at least 4 or 5.
That's excellent.
And I know how that sound right. That sounds crazy to some people just working out for 2 hours, but really it's yeah, like just like you said, like you don't wanna wind up all busted up and bruised
Right.
and sitting out for like a day or two just because right you did this abnormally difficult workout and right really not all martial arts has it. Some instructors are like that. Some dudes just like to go at it hard just right off the bat, just right into the nitty gritty of things. Everything is, hard stretching, hard, right? A lot of reps, just. But really, what a good martial artist or a good instructor will do, he will work off of however wherever you are in your life at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
working out should be a building block, right? You start out wherever you at right now, and then gradually as weeks go by, months, right, you just build and build and you increase the numbers, or you switch it up, you do different stuff. But yeah, it definitely doesn't take 2 hours and whatnot just to get a good workout in. Like at least 30 minutes to an hour I would recommend to anybody starting out doing anything for real. And as well as right on the subject of that, if anybody ever right, I also am coaching at the same time as well as fighting. So if anybody is interested in getting some lessons with me, I'm here in Baltimore, Maryland. Hopefully, I can, spread myself out to other regions of the world and whatnot as well, and give what I know. But yeah, just yeah, working out is better for you. Benefit it's better when you are in tune with your body, and as well as you know what you need, and what you need is whatever gets you a nice little sweat and gets your body going.
I was I, I was going to ask you about training. I'm gonna go back to that because that was on my list of questions to ask you about training. But you did cover a lot there. Um, Mixed martial arts. A lot of people get confused on that because most people, like you said, we talk about basketball, and football or baseball, what have you. The next physicality thing with people, which is I'm gonna get my child into boxing. A lot of
Yeah,
people don't get into like the mixed martial arts, and there's so many different forms. Talk
yeah,
about the styles that you do, and I think I was before. Well, my brother's in the UFC a lot heavy, but it used to be something overseas. I think it was called Pride. You familiar with that or something?
oh
I
yeah,
f-
yeah, yeah. That was
yeah, and I forgot what it was called, but they used to have so many different styles of fighters. I mean, like it was crazy. It was like you was watching the kung fu movies a little bit, and I think they merged together. But just talk about the styles that you've been in it, whether it's karate, jujitsu, or whatever, and how's that affect you as far as your fighting?
Yeah. Well, the style in which the sport in which I'm in, which is MMA, mixed martial arts. Um, well, you mentioned Pride and UFC. Those are actually like organizations, like
Gotcha.
like NBA or something like that, or the
Right.
NFL. But pretty much those were places where the mecca of a lot. Right, it would be like the mecca for fighters to perform on that stage and whatnot. So really, I'm trying to get there. I want to get to the UFC or Pride like place. Pride doesn't exist anymore. Actually, it
Right.
actually went up years ago. But yeah, it's the type of effect that this type of training or whatnot, or this type of right, all this knowledge which I've learned over the years has had on me is right. It's definitely been it's been painful. I'm not gonna sit there and lie to you. It's been painful a lot of
I
time,
can believe
but
it.
it's definitely coming handy to the fact that I realize that I'm a lot more, I would say, rougher than most people, or tougher. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people come off as if a lot of people try to psychologically, fight. They try to push people off or wave people off just by giving them just by being in a type of mood or giving people a type of energy or something like that. I can give you energy, but I can also give it physicality as well. That's usually no problem. Just because, right, I've been training for so long and I've been fighting for so long, just fighting is a lot more natural to me than most. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
that's interesting. You said that. I was talking to one of my players today. Sometimes they don't make the teams, and I'm
Yeah,
like, "You think about wrestling?" They like wrestling, and I'm like, "Yo, that's like a good sport to get into."
yeah,
A lot of people when they think about fighting, they think about being on your toes. But in the
yeah.
MMA, you got, I mean, people grabbing you and stuff. Talk about how wrestling is a huge part of, something you have to learn.
Oh yeah, yeah. Wrestling is definitely a huge part of MMA, just because, right? Like my instructor told me, most fights can easily end up on the ground, easy. You know what I mean? Like, right, like you said, most people, right, when they think of fighting, they think of standing up, tussling, throwing
Hmm.
some hands. More like a boxing type of setting. But yeah, a fight can get ugly, man. A fight can go wherever, and if you're not ready to get ugly, then yeah, that's really where a lot of people lose. They really don't have the type of mentality that they think they have for fighting, which is things can get rough and things can go sideways real quick. And if you're not able to calm yourself, adjust, and to try and flip the tide of however things are going, then yeah, things aren't gonna go well for you. And that's pretty much what fighting has taught me, is how to calm myself, take my time, and to try and flip the tide of however the situation is going. Or at least to flip the tide if it's not going in my favor, to make it in my favor.
It's really crazy. Um, I've never seen someone that deals with mixed martial arts like really be a bully or really
Yeah.
be an instigator. Talk about the mindset of the teaching that goes behind how you use your martial arts.
Yeah, well, from an early age, from the jump, I was already taught. As soon as I came into the game, it was right, because I had a good instructor. Um, just let me know, like, yeah, you can't go out here just trying all the stuff that you learned on somebody in a 2 hour class just cause, or just just just
Right.
because you're a bully or something like that, or maybe you have an enemy per se. But yeah, it's really taught me ways of, right, not being the aggressor, but being the person who, if somebody comes at you with a problem, to be the one to finish it if you have to, or to
Uh,
just walk away. Well, finishing can also be just walking away from a situation. So let me reiterate that, right? Not every situation has to be
yeah,
physical.
right. But I'm glad you said that because a lot of people think that, like, I might get my child in it or, this young brother's in it. And, most of the times they so busy fighting, they ain't trying to hurt nobody. You know what I'm saying? They just trying to just get away from the confrontation. But it's good to know you can defend yourself if you have to when you can't walk away. I'm glad you said that. Talk about, I know you're from Baltimore where I'm from. Was there anybody that inspired you locally from Baltimore? Now, might be before your time. You may not know these guys like Leroy Taylor. You ever heard of him? Probably that was
Leroy.
probably they were like kickboxers or something like that. Yeah, that was
I've heard
probably
the name before.
yeah, that was.
Yeah,
But was there anybody like, or if not local, just somebody that you looked up and it's like, yeah, I wanna try to manipulate his style or master him or follow in his footsteps.
yeah. I mean, really, it's kind of crazy how I used to not, when I used to watch like boxing and all those type of combat sports when I was younger, I wasn't into it at first. You know what I'm saying? But then it was crazy. MMA came around, and I kind of, maybe it was, I don't know, maybe nah, it wasn't even MMA came around. It was really, I started watching a couple of good fights. That's what it is. When I really seen some really good scraps in which dudes literally beat the hell out of each other to the point where they looked like they'd be in an emergency room for the next 2 days.
Whew.
Fights like that really, I don't know. Fights like that just really got to me. Whether it was boxing or whether it was MMA, just any fight where I seen two men just really go at it, I'm like, damn,
Right.
that's different. I can't see nobody. having a whole scar on the left side of their face, bleeding from it, and still trying to come at another man. That stuff is different to me when I saw it.
You know what got me into it was, when we grew up, that wasn't out. In the like early '70s and '80s, and maybe not even the '90s. It wasn't that popular. Um, so we had wrestling, and the
Yeah.
big dangerous match was the cage match back in the day. And so
Yeah.
now I'm watching all the mixed martial arts. I don't know, are they still in the cage?
Oh yeah, most of them is in the cage.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that gives you an element of like, wow, it's a cage match. They throwing people down. I mean, it is the ultimate. Are you ever worry about getting hurt?
Uh Not really, because if I was, I would not have started doing this stuff in the first place. I've already fractures,
Oh,
sprains, yeah, all that stuff happens on a concussions. Yeah, you can add some of my training partners as well. I got a buddy that's fighting tonight actually out in Atlantic City, right? So
okay,
yeah, oh yeah, that's right. That's a to my buddy is fighting out. His name is Pianki Zimmerman, right? You can definitely catch him. What's the organization he's fighting? He's fighting out of Ring of Combat.
mm,
Ring of Combat 78. Yeah, that's the name of it. What is it? I believe it's on. It's. He said it will be streamed live, and it's
okay,
free. Airy Plus TV. Airy is AIRY, as well as it's on Channel 6 iSports TV.
okay,
But I think the fight started like 8 o'clock or 8:30. But yeah, like it's just it's business. But at the same time, is yeah, we know what we go in there and do to each other, and we know what can happen. But yeah, as long as we as long as we keep each other in good thoughts and whatnot, we train hard. The most that should happen should be a couple of bumps and bruises, some
right,
scrapes,
right.
right? If anything, you come out of there with some experience and with a story to tell. I know I'm gonna have some stories to tell my kids if I have some.
Right. Well, before I want to get back to you training, but before I get to that, I just want to talk about you as a fighter, and I know you got an upcoming fight. I want you to talk about that and just talk about why people should be tuned in to Jamal Johnson and the type of style you giving and how you excite everybody. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, well, definitely with me, it's just I feel like I come with a different type of intensity than most dudes, and just not just because I would say I was born with that type of with a different type of style or a different type of mentality, but it's really developed just after all the years of just in and out of doing this stuff, and as well as just living in this city, going crazy, uh, just
Yeah.
trying to get my stuff right, just trying to get stuff in order and whatnot, just just working slaving, grinding. Yeah, it's really developed my mind. I believe for the better, at least for the better for my family anyway, which is really why I started doing this in the first place, just to be able to improve myself for my family as well as just continue our legacy. You know what I mean? Just to keep myself strong and to really have something to tell myself and my kids and as well as my peers in the future. You know.
Now, what do you have upcoming so we can get the people to check you out? Do you have anything upcoming that they should be on the lookout for?
Yeah, actually, I should be looking at something January 20th. Contracts in the work, but it should be. I believe in like Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah, that's where I fought last time, my last MMA fight. So, yeah, sure. I'll probably be going back down there in January 20th. Looking at a contract right now, but I could be looking at multiple things right now just to see, what's a better offering. But that's looking good at this moment.
Okay, so they need to be looking out for you. Now, do you have a place where people can like find out information for you, like a profile or that could
Oh,
update them, or can they contact you? You know what I'm saying? If they just want to know about your fighting and stuff like that, or what's up with you to
oh yeah,
keep up with you.
definitely. You can contact me on Facebook just like any regular person. You can type in my whole name, Jamal Johnson. I should pop up somewhere. Or you can catch me on IG at Hungry Dog 92. It's all lowercase and number 92. Um yeah, and just keep an eye out for me, man. Keep an eye out for my posts. Of
That's
course I
hung.
post
That's
content.
Hungry Dog 92. Hungry Dog 92
Yes, sir.
on IG. I
Yes.
got you. I got you.
Yeah,
Now, before I
definitely.
let you go, just talk about, and I really love this because you're such a positive young man, and you really understand about the issues that's going on in the black community, and
So
you could really be a major, powerful force by helping get our youth off the streets and our young men of different ages. Talk about you training and things of that nature, as far as people contacting you for that as well, because I think that is very important, especially with you. Like I told you, when I was younger, I got into, my father got me into it really to fight and protect myself, but I started realizing it was more than that as well. So talk a little bit about that, how you're training, where they can contact you for that as well, and just about how you can help them as well.
yep, yeah. As far as right, definitely. As far as my plans go, I definitely want to start getting into more into the realm of teaching and coaching and whatnot, and just like you said, like when it comes to our community, we really don't buy into things like martial arts or even like anything as far as therapy wise or anything therapeutic really to really help us
Hmm.
get through these long days or real just get through this crazy life. So with martial arts, really, I definitely want to open it up to a lot of black males as well as black females within this city, just to show them that not only can you get in shape physically wise, but you can really turn the top. You can really sculpt your mind into something that you didn't believe that you could have before. You can spread your imagination. You know what I mean? Like I've had so many opportunities in this fight game alone, just off of just trying to go for stuff. I'm still getting opportunities to fight overseas and whatnot, opportunities to fight uh, just a bunch of different tough characters and whatnot, in which will put me on the map, man. Maybe put my city
Right.
on the map, put my family on the map, and it's just yeah, like I'm trying to get it. I'm just trying to fight as hard as I possibly can, as well as just right. I want to give all that I know. I've been training since I was 13. So the idea that I don't have anything to give to my community that I still live in to this day is crazy. I know there's a lot of black males or black females that I can reach out to about this stuff, and they'll probably catch wind and whatnot, and we can start a fire. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
We can really start healing the community with a lot of this stuff, as well as other things out there to going hand to hand with this stuff. But self defense is definitely key for our people.
Without a doubt. And I'm gonna definitely hit you too, because I'm president of the UNIA. We have the African Legion, and brothers be wanting to get some training as well. So that'll be
Yes.
good too. So I'm gonna reach out to you. Before I let you go, just send some positive messages. Any thoughts you want to tell our people? Because I know you in that struggle, man. I see you out there, RBG flag and everything at events and stuff like that. And I'm just like, this brother fights, oh man. But just give some people, before you go, any positive outlook on life that you could. We like to always ask our guests to send them out with something positive.
Yeah, definitely. As far as positive wise, shit. There's so much to say, but all I know is just things definitely get hard as the rains. You know what I'm saying? As the days go by, but I feel like what I've started to realize is that you need to have a different type of gratification for life. You need to have gratification for the fact that you even exist in this world to begin with, and in that gratification, you give energy to the universe as well as to yourself. You give
Hmm.
power back to yourself around you to really be able to change things and whatnot. When you put that negative reinforcement, well, you put that positive reinforcement behind all the actions that you do via gratification, whether it's teaching somebody, whether it's meditation, like yeah, you just really gotta take advantage of all the tools that you've been given. Because God, what I believe in is God has given me all the tools to do all I need to do. I just need to go out there and do it. How the next man does it, how the next man thinks about that, I'm not sure, but that's where I'm coming from. I've been
Man,
given all I need, man. I just need to go out here and load the clip.
that's right. Well, brother, I appreciate you for coming on. We're really going to push this hard to get this information out, because I want people to support your career, and I definitely want people to know about you. But I also want people to, hit you up for training and stuff like that. And You just a good, strong, positive brother, and people need to, check you out. And I love you a lot, my brother, and I'll be talking to you soon.
All love to you, my brother.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Thank you again. All right, family, that was our brother, MMA fighter, brother Jamal Johnson. I'm telling you, man, it was just so positive to talk to this brother. If you want to reach him, and I'm going to put up his IG one more time. I forgot his Facebook. I think he said his Facebook is his name, Jamal Johnson, Jamal, but his IG is Hungry Dog 92, Hungry Dog 92. So come out and support. If you have a child or a young adult that you want to keep them off the street as well, and sometimes basketball and football may not be the answer, put them into to martial arts. And this brother trains. He's a good brother. He's going to love your child, treat him as treat him or her with respect, and teach him some ways, because he's in Baltimore. He understands this street life. And also, if you're interested in just training, like I was telling about my UNIA brothers, if you're interested in just getting some training for a group of somebody, he definitely can look out for you there. I know he's very affordable, and he's a good brother. You know what I'm saying? He's a professional at that. More importantly, let's support our brother. You know what I'm saying? He's out here and he's giving back to the community, and we want to support him. So before I close out, you know how we do. We're going to pay the bills real quick, and then I'll give my closing statements. Hold on one second. Black owned. The sponsor for the month, BLK AWND. Check them out. Wow. Again, shout out to our guest, Jamal Johnson. Definitely check out our brother. We are out of here. Man, peace, love, and blessings. Remember, Wednesday night, check us out on our YouTube station and Facebook Live. We're going to have a powerful interview with Arthur Charles Wilson. And I'm out of here, y'all. Be safe.